I really wonder how the game will end. Okay. I just realized that I didn't actually record the video because I'm an idiot. So let's go back to what we looked at. This is we started with Eric, and this is the first video.
So, it was Friday evening. We had an argument. He left. On Saturday, he didn't come back. I waited all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. They had a job. He didn't show. So Eric was ringing on the phone. I checked at the Rock, that's our local. They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not since. He still wasn't back this morning. It just isn't like him at all. Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again. So I decided to come see you. His parents haven't heard anything either.
Yeah, this was the first clip that I watched before I started the recording, actually, and this is where she establishes her alibi timeline. I have the impression, and she talks about Simon going to her boss Eric, but apparently he never got there. So let's watch the next clip.
Yes, there's a car that we share, a Cavalier, and a van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it. Both of them are there now, parked in the street. I'm not sure about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back.
So 2 cars, Cavalier and a van. Van keys are missing, or are just she doesn't know where they are. I don't know if that has any importance. We will find out probably later.
Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a Visa, a silver one. He doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have, so he usually pays with cash, but Eric convinced him to get one.
He did, and Eric was like an uncle to Simon.
Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
You know what I feel like? That she's actually playing differently in these 2 characters, the actress, which is something that I really like. So what I looked for next was Diana, because I couldn't really type Diane because I'm an idiot, and then I found this video. First of all, I found out that she was actually already coming out with her secret. She said, we felt like princesses, like magical twins. So we had this place under Princess Diana's poster where we put all our important stuff, and we were magical princesses, the most important characters out of the stories. But this is the 3rd of July, where she has like come out with a lot already, or maybe she's about to in the next couple of minutes. So let's look at that one.
Yeah, we were 17. It was a nice wedding, people said. Simon looked very handsome in the photos. His parents paid for everything, but he's an only child, so it was important to them. It was what they called a shotgun wedding, but if you looked at the photos, you couldn't tell. The dress was beautiful. It looked like Princess Diana's. The train wasn't quite as long, though. There's a great photo of the bridesmaid helping to carry it out of the car.
Okay, so what I was saying earlier is, first of all, how were they 17 when they married? Is that even legal in Great Britain? I don't know. And then she talks about the marriage like it's not her own. You wouldn't talk about your own marriage by referring to photos only. You would just talk out of your memories and not out of photos that you've seen. So I call bullshit on her being the person that married. Question is, did really Diane marry Did really Hannah marry Simon, or was it maybe even Eve that married Simon? You know, that is a question that I ask myself. How would you know who's who? I don't know.
Diane is really nice. She helps out with the glaziers, organises the Christmas party, that sort of thing. They have 2 kids, really sweet kids. She used to look out for me when I worked there.
Okay, so she even worked at the company. I guess that Simon worked at. I don't know. Maybe she's talking about something else. But Diane is very nice and she's helpful and stuff. 2 kids. What else do we have? Watch alibi reaction. I need to get punctuation in here. I don't really remember this one, but it's in here, so... okay, next one.
I mean, not really. He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house. Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come over for dinner. That would be us returning the favour. Diane is a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off Ceefax, and I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the supermarket. Have you ever eaten fennel?
I'm completely lost about what she's talking about. What is Ceefax? And who's Lloyd Grossman funk baby? Have you ever eaten fennel? My culinary vocabulary is about as slim as my criminal vocabulary, so I don't really know what fennel is, but I'm sure it tastes awesome indeed.
Simon and Eric arguing? No, I can't imagine they'd be arguing. And they get on so well. Unless it was something to do with work. Maybe Simon was being too much of a perfectionist. But I don't know. You should ask Diane.
Simon and Eric arguing. So the police is maybe asking if Eric could be in the pool of subjects that might be the murderers. I don't think so. You should ask Diane. Yeah. You know, I wonder. Do I want to ask about Doug and Eleanor first? Because I feel like these are Simon's parents. And also there's this whole storyline of their parents dying. It's just too much. So let's start with Doug and Eleanor. Yes, let's just start with that. We have to start somewhere.
Yeah. I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's and they're very worried. I feel sorry for them.
Okay, so at this point probably the body hasn't even found. D and E very worried. Body hasn't been found. Or are they even his parents? But I think so. I need a bigger paper to like establish a timeline, damn it.
I got a job to contribute, you know. Doug knew someone and I got a job as a dinner lady at the primary school. They said it didn't matter if I could cook or not, just don't poison the kids. So you see, it's always been complicated between me and Simon. It's never just been the two of us, there's always been pressure.
Okay, parents. Doug provides a job. Parents. Pressure. I think I'll know what I mean when I read that. Maybe. So this is the 25th. Let's look at what she has to say 5 days later, where probably the body has been found. And it's still Hannah, by the way. She's apparently the only one talking about Doug and Eleanor.
I hoover, I dust every week, maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people ask, tell them you do it once a week, but every few weeks is okay. I think she was just trying to make me feel better. I mean, when I was there, she was hoovering every day, ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of porcelain vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked in a vase. There was a fresh pack. I mean, all those years of marriage, and she still has a secret like that.
That is interesting, but not so informationful in terms of murder solving, maybe?
Okay. I parked up in the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper, but he wasn't there. I touched the kettle, it was cold. I looked quickly in the living room, nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough?
That is really concise and all-encompassing summary of what she has done. How can you have that so freshly in your mind if you're asked by surprise? I don't think that's very human. Statement about what she did. Very precise and detailed. I don't know when this was that she's talking about, which makes it hard to write the tags. Maybe I want to add that to a session. And can I maybe... okay, I can. That is awesome. But I can't take it... Oh, I can. Can I take it out of the session again? I don't know. Let's watch it first, shall we?
1984 was an awful year in the end. We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot summer, a heat wave. So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful. Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. A forensic entomologist. I had to look that up. It was because of the heat. It's just awful.
1984, awful year. That is an interesting clip, man. I watched for a dog. Let's look for Eleanor. Maybe there's different ones. One is different, and it's Eve now. That is interesting.
Yes. I speak with Eleanor at least once a day. Not that there's anything much to say. It's more just...
I want to watch that again and see if she does it on purpose.
Yes. I speak with Eleanor. It's more just...
Well, it sure looks like she does it on purpose. Maybe to not have to answer the question. Huh. So many hits on coffee. What the hell is going on? Well, that is a tangent that I actually didn't want to go down. So let's write that word down and instantly cross it off again and then squash the coffee clips, shall we?
Black coffee, thanks. No sugar. Sweet enough as it is.
Oh, come on. So, Eve, black coffee. How fucking easy would it be if there's like a clip of her sister where she wants coffee, sugar in her coffee, but I don't think that'll happen.
Yes. I got to Glasgow, I was exhausted, so I pulled over and slept in the car. I woke up because a rubbish truck went past. I got some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, tried calling someone from a payphone, and then headed back.
That is, I don't know what to think of that. I have to watch that again.
I got to Glasgow, so car. I got some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, headed back.
Okay. In Glasgow, called Simon from slept in the car. This might be helpful in the end. Slept in the car and called Simon from his payphone. Well, this might be helpful. I don't know. Let's watch the next one. It's on the first.
About 8 years back. It was a present to myself. I shouldn't even be drinking coffee with the baby. It's been hard trying to give it up. I think they say you can have 1 cup.
Okay. Coffee with the baby. Don't do that at home. Upcoming mothers, don't drink coffee.
No. I've had enough coffee for today, thanks. Glass of water.
Okay, she looks down because she has... What the hell am I doing? She looks down because she has spilled her coffee or because she looks down at the baby? Enough coffee for the day. I feel like my writing gets worse and worse, so... Let's look for sugar. Why are there so many sugar clips? What the hell is going on with this game?
A cup of tea would be good, thanks. Just 1 sugar.
Ah, she wants sugar in her tea. Well, if that isn't the typical thing in detective stories where you can see, oh well, it's a different person. How would you? Well, if you liked sugar in your tea, you would definitely like sugar in your coffee, because I drink both without sugar, and I know if I would have sugar in one, I would probably take sugar in both, like my girlfriend does. That is my... I don't know. I may be talking bullshit. I don't know.
Just the one sugar. Thanks. Is that kind of recording?
Yes, it is. Lady. So, is that like before he comes into the room? After he comes into the room and before this video, was she doing the whole routine of like, Hannah, 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 why would you talk about Eve when she thought that the camera wasn't recording? Probably, right? We could check that out. This is 1553, 3006. Yeah. Yeah, it is. 1553, 11. 1553, 44. Yes, it's right after that. Next one.
Black no sugar. Thanks. Coffee, I guess. Milk and sugar.
Okay. So it's not always open hair, one person, another hair, another person. Well, that is interesting, isn't it? On the second. Okay. Well, now we have to go back and watch everything all over again, don't we? Ah, man. Coffee. Milk and freaking sugar. And one day before, coffee black. So, wow. So who's who now? Who the hell is who? On the first, it's a different person than on the second. Well, let's just say, for convenience sakes, the black coffee person is Eve. So on the second, then it's Hannah who's there. I have to change that. Or okay, and on the 18th it's Eve. Yeah. Well, okay. Black coffee, sugar coffee. Have to write all that shit down. Man, this game. Wow. Who would have thought? Okay, so have I even been looking for Smith? Yes. Then there's the drinking. I want to look for the drinking because I feel like there's a story of Eric drinking.
No, not drugs. I mean, he drinks, but never very much. He goes to the pub and has one or two. Sometimes we go together. He drinks wine with food, but no, he doesn't have any kind of drinking problem.
No drugs. Drinking, but no problem with it, according to her. And that is Hannah on the 18th. That is, I think, established. Okay, what else do we have? We could just go to the rock. Does it work if I look for that in these things? Are they called parentheses? I don't even know what they're called. Okay, rock something by, went missing Friday, went to Eric. Okay, this is, by the way, Hannah, and this is, I don't know, Hannah, maybe?
Oh God, I don't know. I mean, I guess the rock. We've spoken to everyone there. Someone must have seen where he went. I don't know. So many things could have gone wrong.
So there she doesn't know yet that the body is gone. Must have seen where he went. I feel like after this video I have to rewatch everything and really fucking establish a timeline.
No one has been in the last few weeks. We had a plumber come in 3-4 weeks ago. Someone sang you from the rock.
Okay, we had a plumber come in. No one what? I don't remember. No one was in? Something. That is very concise. Something or the other. Okay, let's cross the rock off the list and go. I really want to go. Now that I have checked off the Simon's parents, I want to go to their parents. Watch this one. Is talking about, oh, this is the arranged marriage between the two parents, lost the baby. Let's watch this one.
Then my parents died. It was the worst year of my life. A miscarriage and then my parents.
1984. I wanna scrap that year because she's not actually saying that in there. Okay. Last one on the same day.
Yes. I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back. Me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl, a dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there.
Okay, so they moved in at the old house of their parents. With Simon. At some point. Okay, one from the 27th.
The thing was wrong. The bags, I think they were from our kitchen. You can probably check that. We never go into the cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't need. Dad used to grow mushrooms there. The bags were taped up. I think it was parcel tape, but I think it was ours.
The whole thing was wrong. This is probably her talking about finding Simon in the bin bags, in the trash bags in the cellar. Bags, but tape. Is that every important information that is in there? I don't know. So 27th, then have found the body. 25th, not yet. I think that's true. I don't know. And then, are we talking to Eve or to Hannah here? So I want to look for these mushrooms actually, but I don't know how to look for them. have I been looking for these words actually? Okay, let's look at that.
No, no cat. My parents had a cat before they died called Domino. It was this little black thing with white dots. And we never did anything about the cat flap, but if you were thin, you could maybe squeeze through it.
No cat. But parents had cat flap. Cat flap, is that the cat door? It probably is. Cat flap needs to go on my list. And maybe domino too. Oh man, so many words.
Florence was a warm, kind person. But she was broken, I guess. When I found her diary, I also found a biscuit tin with other stuff in it. Older papers, letters, that kind of thing. Her story wasn't there. I never really spoke to her about it. I was far too young to really understand, I guess. I just put it together later, once I was older. She had loved children, planned to have a large family, but her husband died in the war. And that was back when you married for life. She never felt like she could marry again. Isn't that strange? She was a widow from her 20s. But, I mean, I guess it was different then. You know, you married for life and she felt she could never marry again. I guess it was harder, a war widow. One of the dead. I don't know, maybe there was more to it than that. I don't really know.
This is Florence's story. And I will add that to session just because she said her story in there. Did I do that? Yes. Twice? No. I want to look for her story again, just because the game is called like that, you know? So we watched this one, Rapunzel, Florence's story, and now this one. Oh, this is pretty late.
Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me. They talked. She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present, another mirror, just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique present. She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open. She'd only meant to scare him off.
Wow, so isn't that something that I shouldn't have come across now already? Her story, or how she killed him with a piece of mirror. But if this person on the 3rd of July actually says that her sister or whoever pretended, maybe they're not even sisters, well, of course they are twin sisters, what else, come on, pretended to be her by putting on her clothes and wig and then killed Simon, then she's not Eve, then she's Hannah, isn't she? Or Simon left Hannah for Eve at some point earlier, and now Hannah is broken because of it, and that's why she killed him. But I thought that Eve was the person that needed to put on the wig to look like Hannah. So that doesn't make sense also. Maybe I'm just really confused, but... Huh. That is really confusing to me. So I think maybe I'll need to establish a timeline or something on a big piece of paper and pin it to the walls with some needles and pins and some strings and some pictures of Hannah and Eve who basically look the same, so I can take one picture and just copy it and then put it next to her. And this will be my life now. So see you again in the next episode. Bye bye.